What's happening, guys? This is Leigh Wood and I'm weighing in.
Yes, people, we are weighing in with two-time world champion, the new sheriff of Nottingham, the lethal one, Leigh Wood. How are you, champ?
Thanks for the intro, mate. It's decent, that. Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Just catching up on life a little bit. Obviously, since I think it's a full year of like being in the gym, training. Obviously, the first law fight didn't happen with injury, so that was around September time. Straight back in the gym. Obviously, boxing in February. Didn't go where I wanted to go with the rematch in May. Obviously, didn't have much of a big break after that. Straight back in the gym for the Warrington fight. So yeah, pretty much a year of being in the gym, grafting at a high level and very intense. So now I'm having a bit of a break. Just catching up with friends, family. Played a bit of football the other night. I thought at the time I was like, I feel well fit. I was sprinting for like an hour. Now I can't walk today. That was 2 days ago. My legs and hips are really sore, but just enjoying life, mate. To be honest.
Absolutely. I saw on your Twitter yesterday you won another accolade.
What was that for?
Is it Fight of the Year?
I think it was Fight of the Month with WBA, was it?
That's the one.
Yeah, I think every time I fight I get that off the WBA, which is nice.
And you got a new rug?
Something to look back on. And I got a new rug at the WBA rug. Yeah, because I feel like I've had 5 fights under the WBA now. They're like part of my history. And I've had to vacate the belt to move up. I'm not sure if I'll fight for another belt. Might not be the WBA, might be the WBA. So it's a nice little thing to remember the run of fights I've had under them.
Amazing. Leigh, I've been trying to sum up your win against Warrington into one word, and the word that kept coming to me was actually legendary. I saw you when I was co-starring in your promo leading up to the fight. Go check that out, people. That was amazing. But anyways, let's talk about the build up to the fight week and the fight itself. You started the week with a visit to Brendan Ingle's memorial. He's someone who's had a massive impact on British boxing as a whole, but he was also someone who believed in you before you believed in yourself. Why was it so important for you to go there at the start of that week?
Brendan had such an impact on not just my boxing but my life as well. He used to repeat himself so many times, and to the point where I could finish his sentence for him. And the reason he did that, looking back, is so I didn't forget it. He taught me many things. For example, like if you're messing around doing bad things, then you're gonna basically get what's coming to you. Like having more than one woman, you're gonna create your own problems, and selling drugs, taking drugs, drinking, and you'll end up in prison, getting shot or stabbed. Like all these things you say in rhymes, maybe not forget them. There's many things over the years that he said, and they stuck with me, and he taught me so many lessons, and boxing as well. When I turned pro, I went up to Brendan. I literally left Team GB and walked round to Brendan's. I knew I was going to turn pro straight away, and he taught me a lot over the years. So I think that big fight, being in Sheffield, it was only right that I paid something reminding me of him, a little trip.
Love that. It's real. Let's talk about fight week then. It started with media workouts. You turned up in a Ferrari, a red one, of course. Was that your idea?
No, my friend Richard, he wraps a lot of cars for another friend of his called Aaron. So he said, look, we'll get you a Ferrari for your fight week if you want. We'll wrap it up on that. And I was like, look, let's do it for the presser matchroom. Wanted it for the presser, so I was like, let's do it. It's something nowadays in the world we live in. It's something to talk about, and that's what you need.
Oh, absolutely.
As a fighter, especially for the right reason. I don't want to like talking trash and doing things to get clicks and views. That's not really me, but just a little bit of something to create a bit of interest. It didn't cost anything, so why not?
I certainly did do that. Let's talk about the next step, making weight for the weigh-in. I have the benefit of seeing you around, literally down the road, and you never look out of shape or unfit, but that was the last time you're going to fight at 126, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously I do everything right. I do my diet right. Obviously I calculate everything I eat, and I'm just too big. I'm just too big for featherweight. I've been too big for a long time, but you can't turn down the opportunities and the PDs and that. You just gotta where I was at. My name wasn't big enough to just go, I'm just going to move up and do this, do that. You can't. I was established at featherweight. I had to see it out at featherweight in them few fights. Maybe one too many, but we got there, we got the win. So I'm happy that I'm moving up. Featherweight is extremely hard for me to make. I don't want to go into what I have to do to make it, but it's extremely hard. That extra £4, well, it's only £4, but that's less I have to lose. So yeah, I still have to come down to make that, but it's not as much, not as grueling. So I'm excited about fighting at super featherweight, and I'm a little bit more of not just physically but mentally, not being anxious, thinking I made that weight again. Am I going to make it? Am I not? Which is good.
Well, you became world champ twice in that division, so not really much more to do there. Let's talk about the fight itself then. Once again, it was like a Rocky movie. You started off slow. You withstood Warrington's attacks, and then one moment came and you took it. Right hook, left, right, left, right, left. Leigh, if you can, try and put that moment into words.
Do you know what? It was funny because there's a quote what Josh said before the fight, and he said something along the lines of, it's alright being a big puncher, but can you take him? Now I can spin that question around to him, because I took everything he gave me for half the fight. And then once I landed, he couldn't take mine. So yeah, it's quite ironic. But yeah, it was a great feeling, a feeling of relief. Once I nailed him with them last few shots, crisp as well, on his way down, like I knew he wasn't going to make the count. You can see from when I walked from one corner to the other with my hand up, I knew he wasn't going to make the count. And if he did, I would have been extremely surprised. But the feeling, there's not much like it, to be honest. The best feeling I've ever had, to be honest, in the whole career of boxing, which is quite surprising to use the British title, the feeling, that would never be beaten for me, because that was like the first thing I wanted to achieve. I would never have quit boxing unless I achieved that. So it was like, that feeling was just like, fuck, I've done it. Do you know what I mean? But after that, the Conlan fight was a good feeling the next day, but obviously I couldn't celebrate straight away. But I think the Warrington fight and the Law rematch, them feelings there, you just, I wish I could share them feelings with the rest of the world, because they're unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, you've taken one of my questions there. That was going to be one of my questions. Out of the last 3 wins alone, you've given us fight fans so much special moments. Like you said, the last round against Condon, 12th round masterclass against Laura, and the stoppage against Warrington. Out of those 3, which one would you say it was most fulfilling or most biggest relief for you?
I think there's a lot on the line for Laura too. Even though I was more confident than any other fight, because I knew him so well, prepared so well for so long, and I knew I was going to do it. But there's a lot on the line. If I lost that fight, then that could have been it, at my age, and trying to get another chance, So that was more of like round by round, ticking it off. Then the final bell went. It was like, and especially the Forest fans helped me in the final round as well. Not just the Forest fans, the fans in general, my fans. They helped me in the last round. They started chanting in the last round. But to top it all, it's got to be the Warrington win. It's got to be, because that was like a legitimate 2-time champion. He's beat the likes of Selby, Frampton, Galahad, Kiko. He's had some good wins. So not just to do it, but to do it in that style was probably the best feeling.
Speaking of that fight then, was Josh better than you thought he'd be?
I don't want to discredit him. Not boxing wise, but it did exactly what I said before. There'd be times in the fight when he will be working extremely hard, and I was going to make him pay, and that's what he did. The round 1 he came out, and I was at a pace where I thought, this is going to be a short night, because I can land here. And then someone from his corner shouted something about, do you want to get beat again, or something along the lines of, you're going to get beat again or something. And he went from there, he went to there, it was like, started throwing loads more, and he went up a few gears. And in my head, straight away I thought, you can't do this with me, because you're going to give me so many opportunities, and as soon as there's a little dip, or as soon as I see an opening, as soon as you get into a pattern of some kind, or you do a certain thing, when I'm going to do my certain thing and without giving too much away because the fight may happen again, I know I've got you on. That's exactly what happened.
How much credit goes to Ben and Leigh Wiley?
For me, all the credit, all the credit. I won't be here without them. If you look at before I got with Ben, I was a completely different fighter. It's like the things I needed was always there, but they showed me how to use them correctly. Ironed out a lot of things, not just like the way I did things, but my actual decision making has got better with them, because that's what it comes down to, decision making. Do I go this? Do I do that? Do I do it that way? Do I do it that way? Do I wait for this or do I go first? Yeah, it's like there's so much to think about, but they make it simple for me, and I just can't thank them enough for getting me to where I am. They've been vital to get me here.
Leigh, we've mentioned mickconlan. It's your boy Jordan Gill next for him on December 2nd. You've shared the ring obviously with Mick. You know what he brings, and you've seen Jordan Gill for years. You've seen him grow into the fighter who he is. They're both coming off KO losses. How does that fight go for you?
I don't want to give too much away because it's a massive fight, but it seems to me like it's the same old mickconlan. He's overconfident, expecting to beat Jordan comfortably, exactly how he was with me. I think history might repeat itself, and Jordan's looking really good. He knows what he needs to do, and I hope he can do it, and I will be there for it. He's almost been like a brother to me over the last, I think it was 13 years or so.
Wow.
Or even more. So I'm excited for the fight, and I don't want to predict it, but hopefully we'll be coming away with the win.
Love that. Let's talk about you, Leigh, then. We know that going into the Warrington fight, one of the stipulations you made sure was in the contract was if you win, your next fight is at the City Ground. You've got that. But who will be in the away corner? There's lots of talk about the Welsh wizard joecordina.
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? Sorry, what was you going to say?
Yeah, I was just going to reel off a few. The Welsh wizard joecordina in a huge world title fight. Could it be the WBO lightweight champion Navarrete, or could it be Woodwarrington 2 here at the City Ground?
You know what? I'm not First of all, I'm not bothered. Second of all, I'm not a complicated character. I'd rather let the fans decide. There's no one that's going to beat me there. No way. So whether that's the Warrington rematch, Cordina.
What did you make of Cordina's performance last weekend?
It's funny because before the fight, I was getting a lot of messages, even some of my friends saying, I'd stay away from him. And I was saying, he's not unbeatable. He's a good fighter, don't get me wrong, he's not unbeatable. And I back myself with anyone in my division, and I back myself anyway. And if you don't, why are you in boxing? But now since that fight, everything's spun around like, oh yeah, you'll beat him. I'm saying, well, you're judging it off one bad performance, I'm judging it off good performance. It's still a hard fight. Yeah, I back myself, but it's still a hard fight. But a lot of people are very fickle. They'll see little things and think, oh, that's an easier fight than you. It's not. Like, it's an hard fight, but joecordina is a good fighter. But like I said, I back myself, and if it's joecordina at the City Ground, no one's beating me at the City Ground. So.
Love that. Last but no means least, I can't let you go without asking you about this weekend when we finally get to see the much anticipated matchroom debut of Shabazz Massoud, the Maverick. Just how special a boxer is he, and what do you think we'll see on Saturday night?
He's extremely talented, and like I said, with Ben and Leigh and Barry, like, he's at the right place. As you'll see over the next, like I keep saying, over the next 10 years, you're going to see Ben and Leigh and everyone rise to the top, one of the best trainers, one of the best teams in the world. And people are starting to notice that, and working with Ben, there's more and more better fighters going down there. And I'm coming towards the end of my career, so I'm happy because they're not taking my time anymore. I thought that might be the case soon. It's like we start getting wins that are like you're not supposed to get, or wins that most people write you off. Eventually you get that many, you think, well, what's happening down there? Why are they so different? And it's down to Leigh and down to Ben and everything they do. And Yeah, Shabazz is a great talent at the right place. I can't see him getting beat for a long time. I think he'll win a world title at least, and I'll be there on Saturday, and everyone will start to see that.
Well, guys, go check that out. Saturday night, Shabazz Masood headlines in Newcastle. You've heard it here, live and direct, weighing in. Leigh wants the fans to decide who he fights next at the City Ground. I'm going to drop a poll, make sure everyone votes, and that's it. That's a wrap, Leigh. It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you for inviting me to yours, and thank you for your time, and thank you for weighing in.
Anytime, mate.